Modeling relationships. This video will show you how to tell which quantities in a situation can vary and which ones cannot. You'll also learn how to use letters and numbers to write equations representing the relationships in a situation. Let's start by looking at variables versus constants. A variable is a letter that represents an unknown or changing value. A constant is a value that does not change. So we'll identify the variables and constants for the following situations. Movie tickets cost $12. The total price depends on the amount of tickets needed. So we'll look at the ticket price, the number of tickets, and the total cost, and decide if it's a variable or constant, and then we'll find the value. Our ticket price is a constant because it doesn't change, and the ticket price is $12. Now let's look at the number of tickets. The number of tickets will change based on how many you need. So this represents a variable. We can call this n. Now let's look at the total cost. The total cost will also vary depending on how many tickets we need. So this represents a variable. We can find the value of the total cost by multiplying the ticket price by the number of tickets. So we'll multiply 12 times n. Here's another one. A car's speed is 65 miles per hour. The distance depends on the amount of hours traveled. This time we'll look at the car's speed, the hours traveled, and the distance. Let's start with the car's speed. We know that it's going 65 miles per hour, and this won't change. So this is a constant, and we know the value is 65 miles per hour. Now let's look at the hours traveled. Since we can change how long we drive, this is a variable, so we'll call it h for hours. Now let's look at distance. The distance can change based on how long we drive. So this is a variable, and we can find the value of the distance by multiplying the car's speed by the hours traveled. So we'll represent the distance as 65 times h. We can create math equations for most scenarios by using the following steps. First, we'll identify the unknown. So we'll determine what we're solving for, as well as labeling any variables that are given. Next, we'll identify relationships and keywords. And then we can write the equation. We'll write an equation for the following situation. A gym charges $30 per month plus a $50 sign-up fee. What is the total cost? We'll start by identifying the unknown. The question asks, what is the total cost? Since we don't know this, we'll just call it C for now. We also know that the gym charges $30 per month, but we don't know how many months are being counted. So we'll let M represent the number of months. Now let's identify any relationships or keywords that we see. The keyword per tells us that we're going to multiply, and the keyword plus tells us that we'll add. Now we can write the equation. We'll start by writing our total cost. We can represent that the gym charges $30 per month by writing 30 times M. And then we can represent plus a $50 sign-up fee by adding 50. So now we can find the total cost when we're given the number of months using this equation. Now we'll write an equation for this situation. You can spend at most $10 on snacks that are $2 each. How many snacks can you buy? Let's start by identifying the unknown. The question asks how many snacks we can buy, so that's what we're trying to find. So we can call S the number of snacks for now. Now let's identify the relationships. We see that snacks are $2 each, and that we can spend at most $10. So we'll use these relationships to write our equation now. So we can write this as 2 times S, which represents the number of snacks, must be less than or equal to the $10 that we have. Now we're going to write an equation for the next couple of slides. A rental car company charges $25 to rent a car plus an additional $35 per day. We'll let C equal the total cost of renting the car, and D will represent the number of days that we're renting it. So we know that it costs $25 to rent the car, so we know that our total cost will at least be $25, plus the additional $35 per day. So we'll add 35 times D for the number of days that we're renting, and now we can find the total cost. Next we have that Shelley has $20 and earns $40 a week babysitting. She needs at least $100 for a concert ticket. Let's let W be the weeks of babysitting that she does. We know that she needs at least $100. So we know that the money she has must be greater than or equal to the $100. We know that she already has $20. So we'll include the $20 in her money. And we know that she earns $40 a week babysitting. So we can add the $40 times every week she babysits, and now we have the total that she needs to have at least $100 for the ticket. Here's our last one. Large cheese pizzas cost $5 each, and large one-topping pizzas cost $6 each. We want to represent the total cost for ordering any amount of these pizzas. So we'll let T equal our total cost. We know that the cost comes from adding our cheese pizza prices to our one-topping pizza prices. Since we know large cheese pizzas cost $5 each, we can represent this as 5 times C. And since we know that large one-topping pizzas cost $6 each, we can represent this as 6p. So now we can find our total cost if we know how many of each pizza we're buying. Let's summarize what we've learned. Variables are letters that represent changing or unknown values. Constants are values that do not change. We can write equations from situations by identifying unknown values, assigning variables, and looking for keywords and relationships.